2020 was an unprecedented awakening to the devastation of a global pandemic that affected millions, including families and businesses in our local communities, as well as to racial inequities that forced Americans to appreciate the concept of social justice and the vital role we all play in advancing it. The Chamber's 1,300 member businesses and organizations were directly affected by these historic moments.
The way things wasn't perfect. And so my hope in 2021 is that we actually don't just return to normal, that we return and move to something even better.
That we're going to get to a sense of new normalcy. We will be able to navigate and make this place a place that everyone feels like they belong.
My hope for 2021 is we will not forget 2020.
I think the history of this city and the potential of the future melding together is what's going to make it all work.
The last 14 months have been a time like no other. The Chamber was there for us to help us support our local businesses and remind us to take time for ourselves, for our neighbors, and for our communities.
How do we do a better job? How do we really learn? And in that moment of quiet, when the world sort of quieted down, there were things that had been going on for a very long time. And it made us really look at where we thought we'd been doing a good job, we needed to do a better job.
We depend greatly on people coming together and being together in one large group and in big numbers. And that obviously was not in the cards for us this past year. So for us, this was a drastic, major setback last year.
We believe that out of all of the challenge and hardship comes tremendous opportunity, and we want to be poised to be part of that future in the state of Maine.
The biggest adjustment was really understanding how to communicate more effectively and really make up for the human factor that's so important in our business altogether when you talk about what we do for a living, and that's sports and entertainment and engage with our fans.
Many of us had to adjust to remote working and virtual communication, operating with a reduced staff or reduced hours, or reimagining how we did business. Core industries required new business models, and still some were forced to cease operations altogether.
The Chamber was an important lifeline, I know for us, and I'm sure for many others last year, especially at a time for our specific industry where we didn't feel like we had anybody helping us whatsoever.
As a healthcare provider, pretty much everything that we've done the past year has been impacted by the pandemic. We didn't have a playbook for this, so we were making a lot of good changes as we went along, and kind of developing the playbook as we marched forward. Caused us to look at everything we do, the processes that we go through to take care of patients, and make significant changes to ensure that we're keeping our patients and our staff safe.
This year seemed to start where 2020 left off, with economic suffering, continued racial divides, and political unrest. But there exists an important human element: hope. Hope for the distribution of vaccines, hope for PPP loans and other federal and state aid, hope as demonstrated by activists and local leaders willing to find common ground for reaching shared goals. Hope for a better future.
It was great to have the opportunity to pull our resources together and come up with a plan that's intentional to really have an impact in the Black and Brown community. And so we were able to share that here with the Portland Community Chamber, as well as offering to their constituents. We were able to present our plan and how we came about developing that plan. And so hopefully, as a business in this community, we could be seen as a leader in helping really navigate through this, because it's definitely an important subject matter that we all should be a part of. And it's going to take all of us in order to eclipse or overcome.
The role they've played for us, and the role we've helped, I think, is to really advocate on important items that support our community and support our business community.
The Chamber plays a unique role in bringing businesses together, and with regard to diversity, equity, and inclusion, we've been able to really step up these efforts to bring businesses together. With the help of Mike Simons of Unum and Steve Smith of LL Bean, we've been able to bring business leaders from across the state together to talk about how change can be made in this area.
The Chamber really was instrumental in pulling together huge groups of leaders across the greater Portland, Southern Maine area. We did that through the Standing in Solidarity letter, and then we ended up also working together, really sharing best practices and taking responsibility together on trying to break down some of the systemic racism and policies and things that are occurring in Maine.
As more of our community becomes vaccinated and health guidelines loosen, a return to the business as the new usual will follow. The Chamber is humbled to be an active participant in the ongoing discussion on diversity and inclusion in this community we call home. We maintain hope that businesses will re-emerge from this difficult year stronger and more resilient than ever. And we are confident that the broad talent across our state will surely deliver even greater products, services, solutions, and innovations in the year to come.
I've really gained a sense of what community means to the people here, and that's supporting one another, through good and bad times.
When we can open the doors again at Aura and have a normal size event or concert, and we can bring people together from all different backgrounds, different areas, different interests together to be there for the same thing, that's very awesome.
We couldn't be happier that we've chosen this place and this community, and everything from the last year has only proven that to us so many times over, and I'll be here forever.
Our hope is that 2021 is the beginning of a better chapter in the history of this community. With your support, collaboration, and partnership, that hope will become a reality.